Learned how to identify monomials. We've learned how to name them. Also, we've learned that when we have a polynomial and we write it down, it does go in a certain order. And that order is determined by the exponents that are on the variables. So from here on out, when you write an answer, this time order does matter. Okay, and so today we're going to talk about how to multiply polynomials. And you'll also need to use the properties of exponents that we learned in the past. You just took a test on this. So let's just say I have x squared, and I'm going to multiply it by x cubed. What do I do to these exponents? You just add them. So this would be x to the 6th. These are things that you'll need to remember when we multiply polynomials. Oh, 3 plus 2 is? Great, I'm recording this. Perfect. 3 plus 2 is 5. Yes, and I'm still going to post this video. Because I've decided my videos, if I only post perfect videos, would I ever post a video? No, never. All right, so we are going to multiply these polynomials right here. This is your first example. Oh, look, at the very top it says, I forgot that it had that. It says a to the m times a to the n is equal to the a to the m plus n. That's at the very top. Or is that, y'all have one there? Oh, yeah, you do, where it says, remember, law of exponents, the rule is a to the m times a to the n is equal to a to the m plus n, very top. Hey, if you don't have it, don't worry about it. Some of you have it and some of you don't. That's weird. Okay, so that's okay. And then the example is x to the 4th times x to the 6th is equal to x to the 10th. Perfect. So mine is right here. It says remember. If you can find where it says remember in your foldable, wherever you put it, you can write this down. I see some of your foldables are struggling. It's okay. I can help you put them together when we're done. All right. So on this first one, it's all we're doing is multiplying everything in here together. So first of all, let's just take the coefficients. What is 4 times 6? 24. So right here, you would start with 24. This is just where it says example number 1. All right. Now I have r to the 3rd times r to the 5th. What do I do with these exponents when I'm multiplying together? I add them together. So what is this r going to have as an exponent? 8. Okay, and now the s. We'll multiply the s's together. What is 4 plus 6? Guess what the answer to this multiplying that polynomial is? 24, r to the 8, s to the 10. And they are, this is one monomial right here. I'm talking about when it's a polynomial separated by plus and minus signs that you have to put them in the correct order. Although, does that make sense to you, Charlie? When I'm talking about a polynomial, that's like ax squared. When I have terms that are separated by a plus and minus sign, those are the ones that have to be in order. All right, so moving on, let's go to example number 2. First of all, we're going to multiply the coefficients first. What's 9 times negative 2? Nice. And then the x squared times x cubed. What is that going to be? x5. And then y to the 1st. Y to the 1st. What is my y going to be? Y squared. And then z. There's only one z, so that z just goes back and stays the same. So that's multiplying 2 monomials together, and it's super easy. You just multiply all the common variables and coefficients. Flip your foldable up to where it says well, let's practice. Practice. You know what? Get your whiteboards out and practice this on your whiteboard. Totally forgot. We're going to practice. Going to try to do a little bit more practice stuff. All right. So I want you to, there's whiteboards on the back counter if you still don't have them. Guys, we're bell to bell today, so the quicker you can get your stuff out, the better. If you've already got your whiteboard, this is the problem I want you working on. 6y cubed times 3y to the 5th. when I ask you to hold them up, I want you to hold your whiteboards up so I can see how you're doing. All right, hold your whiteboards up. If you aren't quite finished yet, you can catch up on the next one. The answer is going to be 18 y to the 8. Let's try another example. Let's try this one. Be careful, your M's and N's look alike. So that's why I picked this problem, so you would just be super careful and intentional about looking at your variables. All right, hold your whiteboards up and let me see what you have. You should have 27m cubed n to the cubed. And last one, before we move on to the next example. It looks weird, but it's totally fine. 1/4 of negative 12, and then do the same thing with your variables. You have 3 this time, but it doesn't matter. What is 1/4 of negative 12? Negative 3. Okay, we're there then. You're doing great. All right, hold your whiteboards up. Let me see what you got. If you're not done, I still want you to hold them up. That way I know that you're not done. All right, your answer is 1/4 of negative 12 is negative 3. 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. And then 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5. Negative 3, s to the 4th, t to the 5th. All right. Not doing this. Now we're going to go to this one right here, example number 3. This is multiplying a monomial by a binomial. There's 2 terms in this. And you actually already know how to do this. You're just going to use the distributive property. So we're going to first multiply this by this. We'll just multiply that by that. So draw your arrow in your foldable. And we're going to do the same thing we just did. What is 3 times 5? 15. Now, m to the first times m to the second, what is that? M to the third. So this will be m to the third. Then we put this sign right here, a plus sign. And now we do this monomial times that monomial. What is 3 times 2? 6. And then m times m. M squared. And that's the answer. So basically, it's that distributive property again. All right, let's go to example 4. We're going to, again, distribute. And I think it's a good idea to draw arrows so you don't forget. So this is going to be 7g times g squared is going to be 7g what? Cubed. Yep. And then 7g times 5g is going to be 35g squared. And we're going to put that plus sign in between. And then we're going to go all the way over here, last but not least, 7 times negative 3. What is that? Negative 21. And then this, Charlie, is where we have to go back and make sure we're in order. And we are in order. That exponent's a 3, that's a 2, so I'm in perfect order. Just kidding. Wow, I didn't write it in my notes. Okay, good job. All right. Example number 5. It is careful to go back and look, especially when some like these where they just look kind of crazy. Okay, again, just start from the beginning. Negative 5 times 3 is what? Negative 15, yep. And then a squared times a to the 4th is, yep. And then b times b cubed is, perfect. And then this is the sign that goes in between. We take a breather. All right. Then negative 5 times 6 is What is that? Negative 30. So what happens to this right here? Yep, it becomes a minus sign. So we'll erase it and put a minus. And then again, a squared times a squared is a to the, and then b times b cubed is b to the 4th. Perfect. Okay, y'all do number 6. And then here in a minute, I'll do number 6, and you can check your answer with me when you're done. Okay, when you're done, look up and see if you got the right answer. Minus 5y to the 5th, minus 30y to the 4th, and this is a negative times a negative, so that would be a positive 40y cubed. All right, moving on. Oh, do this on your whiteboard. Just kidding. Just kidding. I will draw arrows for you. Watch your signs. Okay, hold your boards up and let me see what you have. Hope if you're not done, Jonathan, I need you to hold your board up anyway so I can just see where you're at. All right, so Drew, I need you to hold yours up. Helen, I need you to hold yours up because I'm checking. I can't see it. I need you to show it to me. All right, let's go. Whoops, JK, let's see what we got. I'm sorry, not negative. 12p squared q minus 6pq squared. This is the answer right here. This is a long explanation. I just distribute. All right. And this one, and then we're moving on. Looks crazy, it's not. It's just 1/2 times 6, or 1/2 of 6. I think you know what that is. So it may look crazy, but it's just this times this times that. Okay, hold your boards up and let me see what you have. Okay, if you're not done, I need you to hold them up because that tells me that you're doing great or you're not doing great. You just need more time. You don't need more time. Okay, the answer is 3x cubed y squared plus, it's right here, 4x to the 4th y to the 3rd. Okay, we're going to go back to, we're going to skip these examples. And we are going to go to this right here. All right. We're going to go, let me back up to this. Let's do this. I want you to open up where it says FOIL right here in your notes. I realize I guess I don't have that page here. Okay. FOIL. We're going to get to where we are now multiplying. I want you to write this down where it says FOIL. And we're going to use, FOIL is going to be the acronym for how we multiply a binomial times a binomial. And so down the side, I want you to write this, F-O-I-L. We're not really going to glue a piece of foil there. I just found that that's not what we need. Okay. But the FOIL is an acronym that helps us figure out what we do. The F stands for first we do the first, and then O stands for outer, and then I stands for inner, and then L stands for last. And that helps us keep track of what we've multiplied. And this is what it means. This first means I multiply the first terms in each binomial. So what is y times y? Y squared. So we're going to put y squared right here. Outer means I multiply the 2 at the end. On the outside. So that's y times negative 5. What is y times negative 5? Negative 5y. Bang. Okay, so I think you're probably already seeing a pattern because you're pretty sharp. Inner means I'm multiplying the 2 on the inside, which is the 3 and the y. What is 3 times y? 3y. And then last, which ones would be the last ones? 3 and negative 5. So what's 3 times negative 5? Negative 15. Okay, now we're not quite done yet, but we've multiplied everything together, so now we're just going to write it. So this should look like y squared minus 5y plus 3y minus 15. And then the last thing we do, what do you think the last thing we do is? Yes, we combine the like terms. So we've got a negative 5y and a positive 3y. What is that? Negative 2y. So our answer is going to be y squared minus 2y minus 15. That's how you multiply two binomials together using the FOIL method. You're going to hear of the FOIL method all this for the rest of this year, all of next year, and throughout. When your math teachers say the FOIL method, I hope you're so excited and you remember your time in Miss Mashburn's 7th grade pre-AP class. All right, so let's try example 7. We're going to do the FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last. So on 7, if we do the first, that's x times x. What is that going to be? So right here, put x squared. Now we're going to be outer. What are the two terms in the outer section? X and 5. So that's going to be a positive 5x. What about the inner section? 2x. So that's going to be plus 2x. And what about the last? 2 times 5 is 10. Now, do we have any terms that we need to combine? Yes. So the answer here is x squared plus 7x plus 10. Boom. Okay, same thing. For example, number 8, FOIL, front. 3a times a. What is that? 3a squared. Inner. The two terms in the inner. What is that? B and a. So that's just plus ab. That easy. What are the outer? So what would that be? Negative 6ab. And the last, b times negative 2b. The last terms. I'm so sorry. Yes. b times negative 2b. What is that? Negative 2. Oh, we forgot. Let's see. First, outer, inner. Oh, the last is b times negative 2b. Yes, so sorry. I was watching someone else. Which is going to be what? Negative 2b squared. Okay. What's the last thing we need to do before we are done? Combine like terms. I have ab minus 6ab. What is that? Oh, I have a 1 minus 6. Yes, negative 5 AB. I'm going to write it down before I forget. Negative 5 AB. The first term is 3A squared. And then the last one is minus 2B squared. 2B squared. This one's a special one. We're going to come back and talk about these a little bit more tomorrow. But watch what happens. The first is just going to be D times D. What is that? D squared. And then we're going to have negative 5 outer times D. What is that? Minus 5D. And then we're going to do the inner. What is that? Plus 5D. And then the last one, what is that going to be? It's times. We're multiplying. What is that going to be? What? Yes, negative 25. Look what happens. What happens to this right here? It cancels out. So our answer is going to be D squared minus 25. So we're going to talk about, these are special. These ones are special, and tomorrow we're going to look at a few other ones that are special and look at shortcuts when we multiply them. Okay, do this on your whiteboards. What do you have in your hand, Jackie? I want your work up here. I don't want you in your desk or looking down or anything. Yes. Okay, so we're going to work this, and then we'll come back. First, outer, inner, last. You don't need a calculator for this. What's your question, Rish? So they are in order. It's 3A squared minus 5AB. This 2B, yes, you didn't write yours in order. This goes over here. Oh, yes, no, you're right. You're totally right, yes. That one's a little odd. I forgot it had that last variable in there. All right, hold your boards up and let me see what you got. First, outer, inner, last. Whoops. S squared plus 2S minus 8. Okay, first is S squared. Outer is negative 2S. Inner is positive 4S. Last is negative 8. So when we combine these terms, it'll be S squared plus 2S minus 8. All right, let's try another one. Let's try this one, x minus 4 squared. How would you write this so you could do FOIL? X minus 4 times x minus 4. There, that will help you. Although tomorrow we're going to learn how to do those without having to write them. First, outer, inner, last. Hold your boards up. Let me see what you have. X squared minus 8x plus 8. That does not look right, does it? Oh, wow, that's so weird. That is so weird. Wow. Okay, so how about I do this myself? X squared minus 4x minus 4x plus 16. That's weird. These are rarely. All right. Nice recovery, yes? Okay, one more example. We're not going to do this. This is one that's not in your example. So I want your hands empty, Drew, and your eyes up here. That way you'll get this. This is an example of if you have to multiply something where one of them is more than a binomial. So on who am I having to talk over? So on this one, we're multiplying this times this. This is a binomial times a polynomial or a trinomial. So Tyler, it would be good to watch. You're going to take this term, you're going to make a grid, and you know your grid is going to be 1, 2 by 1, 2, 3. And then you put the terms in their spot just like you would when you're making a multiplication chart. See that this goes here, this, including the sign, goes there. And then these two terms can go down the side. And then you just multiply, Alexa. 5x times 2x squared is 10x cubed. 5x times 10x is 50x squared. 5x times negative 6 is negative 30x. 3 times 2x squared is 6x squared. 3 times 10x is 30x. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. And then when you're done, you have to put these terms in order and combine them. So the one with the highest exponent is what? 10x cubed. That's going to be my first one. Now, I'm looking for all the ones that have x squareds. What is one of the ones with an x squared? 6x squared. What's another one? Okay, so what am I going to do with those? Combine them. 50x squared plus 6x squared is 56x squared. So sometimes I do this. Now those are the ones I've worked with. Now my next one is going to be just plain x's. Which two do you see with just plain x's? Okay, so but what happens with those? They cancel each other out. And then finally I'm down to negative 18. And so that would be the answer to this. And the grids help you keep them. All right, so we're going to work this next one together. Are you ready? Yes. All right, write this down in your notes. This is in your notes only. X minus 5 times x squared plus 4x minus 6. And we're going to draw our own grid. X squared plus 4x minus 6. So make sure you've given yourself plenty of room to draw the grid. How do I know this grid has to be 2 by 3? Because look, 1, 2 by 1, 2, 3. So draw yourself a 2 by 3 grid. Okay, and I can see some of y'all are way ahead of me. This is my 2 side. What goes right here? X. What goes right here? Negative 5. I like how you remembered the term. Now, what goes right here? Yes. What goes right here? Plus 4x. What goes right here? Negative 6. And then we just commence to multiplying just like it's a multiplication chart. What is x times x squared? X cubed. What is x times 4x? Yep, 4x squared. What is x times negative 6? Negative 6x. Okay, done with that row. Now, what is negative 5 times x squared? Perfect. Negative 5 times 4x. It's negative 20x. And then last but not least, negative 5 times negative 6, positive 30. And then we're just going to go back and do what we did, combine like terms. First of all, start with your highest exponent. What is that? X cubed. So, and there's not another x cubed. So, yes, I do that. I keep my work nice and neat. Now, I'm looking at x what? Squared. I have negative 5x squared and 4x squared. What does that leave me with? Just x squared. What kind of x squared? Negative, yes. All right, so I'm crossing this off and I'm crossing this off. Now I've got just x's. Negative 20x and negative 6x. Yes, negative 26x. Cross that off. And the last one, plus 30. That's the answer. This is why in 7th grade we worked so hard on showing you how to show your work. Because now look what you're having to do to keep your work nice, neat, and organized. Okay, I'm going to get you to do this one on your own, and then we're going to call it a day. Somebody check my work when you're done. So if it helps, Jonathan, cross these off. This is x squared right here. This is how you're a little, see this number right here? Yeah. Oliver, you check my work? Or are you sure I didn't do something wrong? Because I was in a hurry. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Okay, we're going to end here.